Good morning everyone and welcome to another RF crypto video. On today's markets have gone down by 0.19%, which is basically nothing. The markets haven't really moved much. It's a boring day in crypto. The global crypto market cap is just as it was yesterday, standing at $2.15 trillion. Bitcoin has gone down by 0.23%, which is basically nothing. Ethereum has gone down by 0.18%, which is the first time that I've seen Ethereum not overreact the markets. BNB up by 0.39%. So it's a mix and match of cryptocurrencies going up and down, but they converge to basically trading laterally, not really seeing any major movements. Looking at the Bitcoin chart, we have the new support level of $47,000, and the market has been trading laterally in this resistance level. You can see that following three green candles, we see one big red candle. Following three green candles, we see another big red candle. Always testing this support level. Whenever the sellers try and push the prices down below the $47,000 level, the long positions or the buyers quickly buy up the dip and the prices move above the level. And it will trade along this level until something significant happens to the markets, or there is some significant news in terms of regulation or anything that might move the price of Bitcoin up or down. If there's any significant changes that is positive for the market, the price of Bitcoin will move up to test the $50,000 level, which I think will be the new resistance level. However, if the news is negative, then the prices will break below the $47,000 support level and test the $45,000 level. But we'll have to see how the markets unfold in the next few days. So we all know that Microstrategy is very big on Bitcoin. They have over $5.5 billion in Bitcoin in their portfolio. However, Microstrategy today took out a $205 million Bitcoin-backed loan to buy more Bitcoin. So a subsidiary of Microstrategy, which holds all of the company's Bitcoin, has executed $205 million cash loan using its current Bitcoin holdings as collateral. So what they're doing is they're taking Bitcoin, they're going to the Silvergate Bank, which focuses on cryptocurrencies. They're saying, hey, can you lend me $205 million? I can guarantee you that if I don't pay you back, you still have something that you can sell and recover your money. Here's $205 million worth of Bitcoin. You can keep it until I pay you back. And that's basically how a collateralized loan works. And it's interesting to see how a collateralized loan works with cryptocurrencies, because it's exactly the same as with any other asset like a house or a car or a watch even. So as I said, at the end of December 2021, MicroStrategy held 124,391 Bitcoin. And with this new leverage buy, with this loan in order to buy more Bitcoin, the company will increase its holdings to roughly almost 129,000 Bitcoin, which will be worth more than $6 billion. And for Michael Saylor and for MicroStrategy, it just makes sense to borrow money in order to buy Bitcoin, because if there's an asset that goes up by more than 10% a year, which in this case it's Bitcoin, and you can borrow money at an interest rate of 5% or 3 or 4 or 2% like it is in Europe and the United States, then you should borrow as much money as you can and flip it into the asset. I mean, why wouldn't you? You borrow cash at 3%, you buy Bitcoin using that loan, the Bitcoin grows by 10% in 1 year, you pay back your loan, and you still have an 8% profit, because your interest rate is 2%, but your profit, or the increase in the value of the asset that you bought using that loan, is 10%. So the difference between your revenue, which is the increase in the value of your asset, and the liability, which is the interest rate, is 8%, which is massive. And don't forget that MicroStrategy was one of the first big public companies to make buying Bitcoin part of its corporate strategy, buying almost $500 million of it in late 2020. And not long after that, payment processor and crypto miner Block, or formerly Square, which is headed by the former CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, and electric vehicle manufacturer Tesla, they did the same thing. They bought Bitcoin and used it as an asset in their portfolio. And we're talking about billions. And MicroStrategy, because they got into Bitcoin very early, the average cost of the almost $6 billion of Bitcoin that they hold is around $30,000. So if they were to sell all their Bitcoin today, they would make a profit of about $17,000 per Bitcoin, which translates to more than $2 billion in profits in just over a year and a half ever since they started buying the Bitcoin, which isn't a small amount. So Komodo's ShibaDEX lets users trade Shiba Inu for tokens on other chains. Blockchain protocol Komodo has launched a Shiba Inu-centric decentralized exchange or DEX that allows users to trade Shiba Inu's SHIB tokens for cryptos issued on different blockchain. So this decentralized exchange is called ShibaDEX, and it's a cross-chain exchange that runs on an atomic DEX instead of a single network such as Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain. And this allows for the trading of Shiba Inu tokens for other assets on different networks. So these DEXs usually rely on smart contracts and liquidity pools to let global users exchange cryptocurrencies with each other in a permissionless manner, unlike centralized exchanges. However, DEXs have certain inherent risks, such as impermanent loss or rogue developers emptying liquidity pools in a rug pool. So what happens is, if you have a decentralized exchange, there is a liquidity pool, you contribute to that liquidity pool, but it's still controlled by someone. It's still controlled by the developers of those programs. So they can just do what they want with it because it's in their control. And what happens with a lot of scams is they build on their liquidity pool, they build millions and millions of dollars from investors, which can be you and I contributing $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 each. And we don't know that it's a scam because they're so convincing. And all of a sudden, they perform a rug pull, which is they empty the liquidity pool into their own personal wallets, leaving that liquidity pool dry. And the people that hold the tokens of that project can no longer sell their tokens because there's nothing left in the liquidity pool to exchange with. And that causes permanent loss for the customer. And this happens a lot. And this is why I say we need regulation. So ShibaDEX uses atomic swaps to tackle such rug pull issues. When trading on ShibaDEX, users' funds are swapped via a decentralized order book rather than adding or removing funds via a centralized liquidity pool. Atomic swaps are one of the only tools that developers can use or that customers can use that is truly decentralized because it removes the need for a liquidity pool and it solely relies on smart contracts. So a smart contract is created. The promise of sending certain tokens is equivalent to the promise of receiving tokens from another individual. And smart contracts are automatic, they're immutable, and they're trustless, meaning that if the conditions are met, the smart contract will execute automatically, making it relatively safe. Institutional demand for Cardano is up 50 times in 2022. So the number of large transactions, which is the aggregated volume of transactions denominated in ADA token valued at more than $100,000, has increased by more than 50 times this year. Since January 1st, large transaction volume has increased from 1.35 billion ADA per day to 69 billion ADA, which is worth 81.4 billion, changing hands on Cardano on March 28th, which is 2 days ago. Total addresses have also been increasing since the start of 2022. The year began with about 3.4 million addresses, and it has now grown to 5 million. So Cardano is a very, very promising network and cryptocurrency in the blockchain space. It's designed to be a flexible, sustainable, and scalable blockchain platform for running smart contracts. And this will allow the development of a wide range of decentralized finance, apps, new crypto tokens, games, and more. So it's not only for smart contracts, but it also allows the development of applications. It allows the development of other tokens inside the network. It allows games to be built and a lot more potential. They have been plagued with a lot of network problems, but because they use a proof of stake method, which is much more environmentally friendly than proof of work that which Bitcoin uses, it is a lot more promising than Ethereum because it's a lot more scalable and the transaction fees are a lot cheaper. And I think 2022, 2023, we will see big growth in Cardano because they plan to become completely decentralized through the implementation of community-driven governance and an automated treasury system to fund the future of the network. If it becomes completely decentralized, which blockchain is all about, then I think we'll see a lot more adoption in Cardano than, let's say, in Ethereum and in Solana. It all depends on how well they implement this. Core Scientific strikes digital gold. So Core Scientific which is a Bitcoin mining firm, increased its revenues by 803% to over $500 million, and its gross profit grew by an astonishing 2,443% to $238.9 million. So this was all driven by growth in hash rate, mining equipment sales, hosting revenue, and digital asset mining income. And what this tells us is, despite the fact that mining Bitcoin is becoming more and more difficult every day that goes on, and more difficult as more Bitcoin is mined, Bitcoin mining is still profitable. Bitcoin mining is still a very attractive option for a lot of people involved in the blockchain industry, because it doesn't matter if Bitcoin mining is becoming more difficult, technology is following it to the point where the growth in hash rate is able to keep up with the increased difficulty of mining Bitcoin. So the hash rate is basically the amount of computational power that is being used to mine Bitcoin. Also, these Bitcoin miners are starting to diversify. They're not only focusing on mining, they're focusing on mining equipment. They're selling mining equipment to other miners. They're also hosting, which means that they're hosting other networks in their servers, and also they're diversifying, not only mining Bitcoin, but also mining other cryptocurrencies. For people who said that Bitcoin mining will become unprofitable because of its difficulty and because of regulation, I believe that they're being proven wrong, especially due to the fact that profitability is up. A lot more countries are becoming more and more lenient on their laws on Bitcoin mining, and they actually want to push miners into their countries because of the advantages, not only financial, but social, in terms of employment that they offer to the country and to the population itself. Finally, web browser Opera adds support for Bitcoin, Polygon, and Solana. Not only did they add for those three, but they added support for as many as 8 new blockchain to ease access to dApps and services. Besides Bitcoin, Polygon, and Solana, StarkX Ronin, which is a bridge, Silo, Nervos, and Cosmos support was added to the browser. And earlier this year, Opera rolled out the public beta version of its new crypto browser project for mobile and desktop devices. This project is a standalone browser coming with built-in dApp support and a non-custodial crypto wallet. So basically what non-custodial wallets are, they allow you to become your own bank. You have control of your own funds. Usually wallets like MetaMask are non-custodial, as well as trust wallets. So you have full control of it. It gives you a 12-word recovery phrase so that you have full control over it. It also includes Crypto Corner, a point of access to the latest crypto news, prices, gas fees, and market sentiments, upcoming airdrops, educational content, and an events calendar. When the internet started, Opera was one of the first web browsers to integrate in Web 1, which it was called back then. It kept evolving into one of the first mobile browsers, and now with Web 3 coming along, it's evolving into a Web 3 browser as well. So we see Opera as the chief of innovation in the web browser space, and it's being proven by this. I think that with the development of blockchain and with the development of Web 3, Opera is keeping up with the times and is integrating well into the blockchain ecosystem and into the Web 3 ecosystem. And with further developments, which are bound to happen because this industry is very young, I think Opera will become the leader of Web 3 browsers. But that's if they can keep up with the developments. And with that, we come to the end of today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and share this video with your family and friends. I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Invest wisely, and cheers.